I personally believe it is, but I'm not going to be as flagrant with it as I have been in the past because the Angels are in position to try and make a run for the playoffs. They're anticipating making deals to improve their roster that'll give them a shot at the postseason, which would be the first time Ohtani has been in the postseason, best in the league. And this dude is an absolute superstar. He's the modern day Babe Ruth. And I don't believe you let somebody of that matter, if he is that great, which he obviously is, can you imagine the kind of talent and that's the reason why I'm insistent that they move him.
You can get the fuck out of here. Okay, what the fuck? I've heard great things about both of you.
If there's a chance that he would stay, that's a different animal. I understand it. If there's a chance that you will be able to compete for the postseason for years to come, that would be different. I don't think that answer is in the affirmative in either scenario. So because of that, since he's such a sensational talent, utilize him to get a boatload of assets you almost need.
It's just my readings are off because it's so loud in here. Yeah. The sound? Yeah. Oh, we'll get it quiet. No, wait,
in the Big Ten had both Ohio State and Michigan make the college football playoff. Ohio State nearly knocked off Georgia, while Michigan was upset by TCU. That was in the Fiesta Bowl. The Buckeyes will have to replace number 2 overall pick C.J. Stroud. They'll look to either Kyle McCord or Devin Brown to replace him. Neither player has likely started the season without coach Jim Harbaugh, who's facing a 4-game suspension due to NCAA violations. However, Michigan's first 4 games of the season isn't the toughest slate as they face ECU, Bowling Green, you can see it right there, UNLV, and Rutgers, all at home. And now we bring in the one and only Desmond Howard.
Yeah.
And Des, good to see you, Des. But I just got to ask for full disclosure. Des, if you could just remind the audience, when you did win the Heisman Trophy, you were playing for what team?
I was playing for the Maize and Blue, the Michigan Wolverines.
Gold blue, baby. All right, let's start it. Des, do you have an issue with the Harbaugh suspension?
Well, I think that first you need to understand that I've been probably one of the most outspoken analysts against the NCAA and their practices for the longest time. Like when Reggie Bush was at USC, I said that I thought that USC owed him money because I just don't agree with the way that the NCAA go about their business. I don't think that they're fair. I think that they are not the governing body that we thought they were going to be, or we thought that they were. As a matter of fact, they always go for the low-hanging fruit. So now you have a situation, you take Harbaugh out of it. If there's any coach in America who you talking about, you have a level 2 investigation. I don't care if it was Ryan Day. I don't care who the coach is. You're saying you have a level 2 violation that really isn't that bad. I mean, to their own acknowledgement, they will tell you that. But then because of the way you handle the investigation, the coach may not be as healthy. And you're talking about suspending him for 4 games for something that on his face, it doesn't deserve. You're showing everybody that you got your feelings hurt, your ego is involved, and now you want to put on this show and put up the headline. It's the first 4 games. It's not really murderer's row. And Coach Harbaugh does not be coaching the games on Saturday. So I'm not a big fan of I think that's pretty hard. Setting a precedent, and you're using him as an example for something that might have come down to a burger, buying the
number 1, we know they're full of it. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, having said suspend the man, suspend him. I mean, a suspension should be a suspension. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I don't even care about the competition or whatever the case may be. My only pride, first of all, right? And we all know that, I mean, a pandemic once in a century, for crying out loud, never happened to us in our lifetime. There was a world was dealing with. So I think we got to take that in consideration harshly. But if you're going to be it around, you know, Sunday through Friday, he's just not there on Saturday afternoon. Do you anticipate this will have on Michigan in terms of their aspirations in the Big Ten and beyond?
I don't think it's going to have a negative effect. I actually think when I joined the Green Bay Packers, 1996, that was the same. National media was pounding him. They were just all on Brett Favre. What we ended up doing as a team is we started negatively attacking our quarterback, Brett Favre, at that time. We thought it was not justified. I think the way that they're attacking Harbaugh, that this team is going to respond the same exact way. You're talking about now the coach that just won back-to-back Big Ten championships. Not only did he do that, on the journey to winning back-to-back Big Ten rival, the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I say handled them, meaning the first time he beat them, it was 42-27. And then he went to Columbus. About that setting, that environment, and those kids who are looking at the NCAA like, why are you coming down so hard? And those kids are going to be like, oh, okay, this is how y'all want to act. This is what you want to do. We'll come out there and show you. So I don't think it's going to be aspirations for the 2023 football season.
Well, I think the same thing, because the problem with the NCAA is if you're going to give him a suspension, does it have to be the first 4 games? Can it be NC suspending him for the first 4 games doing anything? I really don't. And then you get to practice with the team. If you're going to suspend him versus the teams I just mentioned, in hell no, it's not going to have an effect on Michigan. Because
I'll say one thing, Harry, I watched Paul Feinbaum yesterday, and Paul Feinbaum is the one person in national media say about Jim Harbaugh. And when he addressed this situation, like you're talking about, he said, listen, the NCAA, this point that you just made, Harry, it makes no sense what they do and how they go about doing it. So I agree with you 100%. But then you can't start picking and choosing. Okay, we don't want him to coach this game, and that game. If you're going to do it, it has to be the first games of the season.
Let me tell you something. I'm glad you brought up Paul Feinbaum, because that's hilarious. Okay, let me transition, because I got Dez here. I got Dez.
Brother
Get
right
to
there.
Colorado, please. Colorado in prime time, Deion Sanders and